A Secret Invasion, which is Harvest was the title of that episode.
Harvest.
What you think of it as you watched it before I did?
I'm still not super thrilled about where current Marvel is.
Okay.
For me, it is a show to watch, and now that it's getting, Wednesday is the last episode.
This Wednesday, yeah.
Yes, Wednesday. I'm pretty sure it's the 25th. Or no, today's Friday. 26th.
Yeah.
It was a good episode. I would still say episode 3 was my favorite so far.
Which one was episode 3?
Where they actually had good action scenes.
Oh, the when they bombarded the president.
That was episode 4. So yeah, episode 4.
Oh, episode 4 was my favorite. Yeah. Put it this way: I started watching this episode, and I forgot what happened last episode. I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we in the hospital? What's going on? Oh, that's right.
I definitely had to rewatch the recap also.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, it's just not super interesting. This
one is lacking a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this has been my opinion on Marvel for a while, but it's information that doesn't stick with you, plainly as is.
Yeah. How can I say this without completely bashing Marvel? I'm enjoying parts of the show. The pacing is a little rough. All right, a lot of rough. Because there's a lot of just informational dumps and then low just conversations.
I will say this. It could have been a movie. Could have been
a 1-2 hour movie?
It could have been a 2 hour and 15-minute movie covering all the same standards, cut into a lot of other bits. Yeah, you lose out on the slyness. You lose out on some aspects of it. But it's just not there.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say that Marvel should stick to movies, but they definitely do better in movies than they do their TV shows.
It seems like they're pacing, they build it up so much that it's just build up, and that's better in movies, as you said. I will not discount the complete this series just yet, because the last episode usually is the one that gets you.
Yeah, the last episode's the one that, ties in all the information. That's why I say it's the Winter Soldier, or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier effect. It's there. Final episode. This is actually a good series. But it's not enough to keep me watching. It's something that I could binge in a night.
Yeah.
The episodes weren't super long. They were 60 to 40 minutes. I think the episode 5, you had it up. It was 17 minutes and 21 minutes remaining. That's barely 40 minutes. That's 35 minutes.
Yeah, and this is just us talking about, not even getting into this episode specifically.
Yeah, no. So it's.
You want to start us off on the episode, because I think we're both a little disappointed on the series a little bit.
Yeah, that's just how it is. But getting into the episode. Starts off, Fury's running around with the president, and he's trying to be with the president, trying to protect him, as he does. He feels dedicated to having to help this person, and the last thing he says to the president before he goes is, "Don't trust Rhodey. He knows Rhodey's a fake."
Yeah, and then right as they take him in, I like what he did, where he brings out the chair and brings out his gun right in front of the surgery room, pretty much saying, "You want him, you're gonna have to go through me," which badass move.
Oh yeah,
badass move.
And then we transition to New Skrullos, and everybody's freaking out. They're all excited. They're saying, "Oh boy, Talos, he's dead." And so what? Talos is dead. The president was our target. Nick Fury's still out there. So they are concerned of what Fury can bring to the table. They are very knowledgeable on what he can do. And he's a scary guy. And I feel like he's been playing old and rickety, and now he's going to, have his own like Iron Man suit almost.
Pretty much, which is what we'll get to at the end of the episode, but we'll get there eventually. Yeah, like I said, this episode's pacing was a little off too. We get the new Skrull talking to Rhodey, pretty much, go get the president, don't kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Don't kill Fury. Is that what he said?
No, don't kill the president. We realize that Rhodey is named Rava.
Rava.
So obviously he's a fake. Gravik wants to reveal New Skrullos to the president. He wants the president to nuke New Skrullos and essentially kickstart World War III. Another interesting fact that that was in there is they started talking about the Avengers DNA or the superheroes DNA.
Yes.
And later in the episode, it kind of devolves down and it kind of reveals to what could potentially be. But essentially, the Super Skrulls are made from the DNA of using superheroes' powers.
Yeah, that's what they were implying. But I think there was, as we go ahead, they did not get the full, like they did not get the main ones.
Yeah, no. So that's the entire premise of the episode is they want to get the DNA. And where they're getting the DNA from later in the episode, they're talking about, okay, there was a lot of blood spilled for the Battle of Earth. Even Miss Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently she's the big scary. Yeah, I mean, essentially she's Marvel's Superman.
I don't agree, but okay.
Essentially.
Yeah. Or at least that's what they're saying here.
Yeah. So I can see where they inject the DNA into their little transmogrifier and they're able to have all these super badass abilities. They somehow got some Groot, which isn't hard. I mean, he's a tree.
Yeah.
All they had to do was find some stuff. It proves to where they have the regenerative abilities that they stole whatever technology.
Which we saw like in end of episode 2.
Yes, episode 2, episode 3 is where they started getting into it. And another interesting thing that ended up coming out was Gravik worked for Fury in the cleanup crew to clean up all of the blood and stuff from the Battle of Earth.
So this is how he knew about it.
Yes, so he probably started getting wet dreams about it. Isolate. My theory is humans can't do this. They can't inject the DNA because
they don't have the mind or the science for it.
They don't have the genealogy. They don't have the bodies for it because the Skrulls, they literally change to other people. So what's different than injecting actual DNA?
Makes sense. From here we go to the compound where Gravik is being held. He attacks one of his guys, and you can see it immediately. People are now worried about Gravik.
Yeah, they don't agree with him.
Yes, exactly. They see his actions as being too extreme. And then we get to a point where they attack him. And they put like a bag. They were trying to suffocate him. And
anything in their power.
Yes. But his strength shows up. He kills pretty much everybody that attacked him and challenged everybody else to do as well.
And the last thing that was said was, "You're a monster." And then he showed the people of New Skrullos that he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He is the monster.
Yep.
And then not a lot happens after that.
It was
just exposition.
Yeah. A little funeral for...
Oh, no, that hadn't happened yet.
Oh, that's way down.
So Fury goes to his little domicile where we saw in the second episode where the Skrulls were first being formed and Fury was pep-talking them.
Yeah.
And Fury reveals that actually the Germans blew down a lot of the buildings in Russia at that time, and this was one of the places that survived. and he chose it for one of the historical. He chose it for a historical reason to have that as the. I don't even know what to call it. Hype base.
Their secret lair. I don't know.
I wouldn't even say that. It's like a community center almost, a new haven for the scrolls, and has a dialogue with Gaia. Gaia says, "I need to bury my father," and Fury's like, "Okay, well, I'm out of here." Police lights show up. She goes, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to Finland."
Yeah. And then we see him just going through security with the fake mask and all that.
Yeah, he gets to Finland, does that. But we have Sonya, who goes to a Dr. Dalton's house. And she's the brain behind all the gene work.
Yeah. At this point, I got a little distracted when it was going on. It was my interest was, like we said earlier, the pacing was off. The story was just slow place where I kind of got distracted, so I wasn't watching the whole thing. So even just talking about it now, I'm like,
so Fury, he goes to Finland. Gaia goes to Priscilla, or Vara, which is her scroll name. And first she goes in the house, sweep clear, has a little conversation, and then Priscilla does a funeral with Gaia.
Yes.
And sets Talos to rest.
Yeah. And this is why I came back a little bit, because it reminded me of a Viking funeral. And we got into the conversation. That would be a great funeral, I think, to have. But regardless, they gave him a little bit of somewhat of a Viking funeral. No, I'm not sure.
I would say Jedi style.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have Gaia and Priscilla, and now they're casually walking through the house, having a conversation, and Priscilla's able to personalize Fury for us and be like, he's not a bad guy. He'll sit in the window, read a book, let the skin touch his skin, or let the light touch his skin, and he just wants to be like everybody else, but he has a job to do.
Yeah. And then this is where they come into their house trying to kill Gaia and Priscilla. And there was one kill on there. This action got me back for sure. That one kill where the guy comes into the window and gets shot halfway through and just hangs there.
Just a dangling.
That was also your favorite one, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that was definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. There's not much to say. I love action. Anyways.
And then, we snap to Fury getting to Finland. He's wearing a mask and a toupee, and it's able to make him look like somebody else. He speaks a little Finnish, gets past security, and he meets up with Sonya.
Mm-hmm.
And they cruise around, have a little bit of talks, and they get to this little graveyard, a little mound, and there's a mausoleum.
Yeah, where Fury walks in.
Yeah, Fury goes on his dialogue. The reason why, or he talks about to Sonya that he doesn't call superheroes because this is personal to him. So this makes me think that we're not going to get any superheroes in the next episode.
I think so too, and that's kind of unfortunate. But
there's going to be support from somewhere.
Okay.
So he talks about all that, and then he starts getting more into it with Sonya and says, my wife, Priscilla, she's a Skrull. And then it all draws the line of why he doesn't want to call other superheroes.
Agreed.
He feels like this is his duty because he's lived it.
Yes. From the beginning, really. This part again kind of drew me off just because it was a lot of conversation, and it just shows you my attention span really sometimes.
It was pretty boring stuff, but it was deep.
Yeah,
it was
that was deep. why he was doing it the way he was doing it, and then he perceives to say that he's going to give the DNA to Gravitz as he puts on like suits up with his like full leather whatever, his eye patch.
Oh yeah, he's ready to kick ass.
Yeah, definitely. And then, does he get a call? Or does he do a call?
He finally phones somebody and he says, "It's time."
Yeah. And then that's where the episode ends.
Yep. And then next episode will be the one to tie it in.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot happening in the next episode. Gravik's definitely dead.
It has to. I mean, he has to die.
I take that back. Gravik either has to die or he, like, coming to God moment with Fury. But I think Gaia's going to be there fighting him. Gaia's going to be the one-on-one with Gravik. And, you know, she's going to avenge her father. Gravik killed Talos. Now she has to kill her father's killer. And one thing that was mentioned during her walk through the house with Priscilla, Gaia's walk through the house with Priscilla, is she says, the last thing I told my dad was, "You're not shit," essentially. And Priscilla says to Gaia, well, the next time you see him, you're supposed to reprimand it. That's what a daughter does in your position.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm drawing the lines of she's taken on Gravik. Okay. She has the powers to take on Gravik.
Yes, she does. Definitely. So I do see that happening.
I have a theory.
Go for it.
So, Fury's going to give the DNA to Gravik, but the way he's going to do it is give it to Gaia and supercharge her.
Mm.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Might not happen.
Yeah. So the thing that got me is, who did say it's time to?
Yep. Who's it time to? Yeah. So that's where I was referencing. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be a superhero. He doesn't want superheroes involved. But who's going to be there?
I have a theory.
Yeah? Because it can't be like Taskmaster, because Taskmaster is dead in the universe.
Yeah. No. Well, it's kind of a few theories. Hawkeye.
Okay.
But he's part of the hero. So the only other thing is...
I wouldn't say Hawkeye's a superhero.
No, he's not, but he's part of the Avengers.
Yes.
Okay. The only other person is... I don't know if I want to say it here. I might tell you off screen.
No, send it. Full right. Send it.
We saw her die. By the hand of the fake Fury.
Okay, you think Hill's coming back, that she's not actually dead.
Yeah, that somehow he saved her. Don't know how. Hopefully they explain it. I just don't want to see her dead. That's the thing. But if she is...
I could see it resolving a lot of things, too.
Yes. So, and also helping him on the back end. Like you said, resolving his... Oh, Fury's wanted. No, she's right here.
Yeah. I could see it. It's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. But it also
We've seen bigger results.
Yeah. Or it also might be a squirrel as her.
Yeah.
So that's since we have a lot of changing faces. But regardless, I hope the opposite of you. I hope there's a big blowout, big fight scenes, just because to save this series, I think that's what you need.
It will be a big fight scene, but I don't think a lot's going to happen that's going to matter in the fight scenes is more what I was getting towards.
Okay, I get you. I just, if it's not, I'm not saying that's not what I think, it won't save the series. Because right now I think the series is, at best, average. At best.
I would put it at a 5 right now.
Out of 10? Agreed. I would be 4.5 to 5. It's just average for now.
Yeah.
But we will see if the last episode saves it. That we will bring that review Wednesday for sure because it's the finale.
Oh, yeah.
But regardless, any final thoughts on that?
Nope, nothing that I haven't covered.
Yeah. So like I said, hopefully the last episode saves it, but we will see. But regardless, that's all from us. From Joker's Wild Side, this was a longer video than we usually do, just because we want to get these two reviews in at the end. Remember, these are just our opinions. Take it as a grain of salt. We are just two doofuses who love a lot of nerdy shit, a lot of sports, a lot of wrestling. Uh, and out of that, remember to be grateful for the things you have, for the problems you don't have specifically. But other than that, we'll see you Monday. Have a good one.